Stage 8, Security Hall. Steal the 3 Chaos Emeralds in 5 minutes.
I'm in position, Doctor. Tell me when.
There's been an unexpected delay on my end. There's no more time to waste. Set the timer for 15 minutes. Let's go, Rouge.
5 minutes should be plenty. Here I go.
Now, a lot of people give Rouge a hard time here. Oh, that's convenient. There's one already. So yes, you have a 5-minute time limit, which makes this one of Rouge's more irritatingly difficult stages. But it could be worse. It could be a lot worse. This isn't the hardest stage, not quite. If the timer runs out, I believe you lose a life. It's not an automatic game over, but you do want to avoid doing it before the timer runs out because you lose a life and your score basically makes it an automatic E, but I haven't actually failed this mission in quite some time, so I'm not entirely sure. Useless safe. Must be in a broken safe. Where is that? There it is. Hello. There it is. Yes. Tight! 800. Alrighty, a lot of people give Rouge a hard time for this stage, but it actually makes some sense because Eggman says set the timer for 15 minutes because the military is starting to rally around them and they're trying to figure out exactly what's going on, so yikes, watch out for the lasers here. And at this point, everything's so difficult to... Well, I'll tell you what these are for in a minute. Anyways, what's happening right now is that Dr. Eggman has figured out that the military is about to counterattack them, so... Ow! He's telling Xiao to set the timer for 15 minutes so they won't get much of a chance to counterattack. At this point, Rouge realizes that she effectively has 15 minutes to grab the emeralds and get off the island, so she's giving herself 5 minutes to grab the emeralds and 10 minutes to get the hell out of Dodge before everything blows up. Because that's what Shadows was doing this whole time. He was setting the timer on those dynamite caps. So you got the world's most powerful life form and you sent him to use dynamite packs. Okay then.
What are you doing? Get going. Bring me the Chaos Emeralds now.
So, that's jewel number 2. Ouch! Ooh, I've screwed up there. Now, this third one's gonna be a pain in the ass. You remember that area up top that I missed earlier? And that switch that I flicked? Well, those safes up there are so locked that they effectively don't have any power floating to them. And when they don't have any power floating to them and they're locked, that means that you cannot get inside, like these dead safes right here. Yep, 3 containers, but truth is, the emerald is inside one of those useless safes, and I can't get to it right now. So you remember that room up top? Those contain the switches that get power flowing to the safes so that I can open them up. Getting the safes to open up once they have power isn't that difficult. You just dig into the wall and... Oh, shut up, Eggy. Yikes. Watch out for the lasers. Flick the switch and get out of there. Now be very careful. This isn't coded by letter, it's coded by color. A, B, and C are just the areas where they are. Well, A, B, and C are the levels that they're in, rather. And doggone it, I just figured that out. So I opened up the red and the yellow areas, but the green area, the blue area still needs to be opened up. So, the blue area is the one right in the center, so let's head up there. And forward. As best we can, anyway. Screw it. Go! 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 Oh! Oh! Ow! Move it! Excellent. Yeah, Eggman gets more and more panicky as you start losing time, but right at this moment, you have to dig into these safes in order to open them up. That one, that one. Kind of like that. Mine?
I got it.
So, that's 3 Chaos Emeralds for us. Which brings our total up to 6, I believe.
It's all too easy for me.
Okay. On the plus side, it's pretty generous with scoring an A rank here, so that's good. So we've got 6 right now, I believe. We had the one that Shadow stole from the bank.
Just a fail.
Oh yeah, and this is Rouge's boss fight. R1 a flying dog. However, unlike Shadow's boss fight, this thing's never going to come down to the ground. You're going to have to go up to it. Just forget the legs and make a few quick pops to the cockpit. Oh, and I think it needs a... Ow! I think it needs a few more hits than Shadow's did, too. I believe Shadow's required 4 hits. This thing, I think, needs 5 or 6. Just keep flying into it, keep hitting the cockpit. But it does have all the flying dogs. It does have all the old weapon attacks, including bonk. Including that energy ball attack that it's deploying right now, actually. And those missiles, and of course the machine gun that it's been using again and again since this whole thing started. For it. Wait for it. And forward. Surprise!
Not bad, huh? I'm pretty strong, all right.
You just blew up a mech with your bare hands. Well, your bare... Okay, wait. Bare feet and bare hands. You're a kickboxer. Swell.
This is Rouge. I've got a small problem. I can't believe that I'm trapped inside this locked safe with a Chaos Emerald.
Yeah, Shadow's laughing too. It's like, okay, how did this happen? So somehow Rouge got herself stuck in a locked safe with a Chaos Emerald, which makes no sense. How'd that happen anyway? Oh well. So Shadow has a few flashbacks of Maria and decides to head back. Why? I don't know. But cut through the jungle in 10 minutes. Remember what they said. Rouge gave herself 5 minutes to get all the emeralds and give herself 10 minutes to get out. Well, now Shadow has to get her out, which is why we have to cut through the jungle in 10 minutes. Which makes some sense, actually. By the way, just like Sonic's Green Forest stage, you are not going to need all those 10 minutes. This is a really, really easy, time limit. Just keep moving and you'll do fine. Grab onto those things and yoink! They'll haul you up here. Awesome! 1,000 points. So, we're going to head up and down and all around and move through this. Again, I'm not entirely sure why the giant roots and forests of the jungle here have made natural giant half pipes, but I'm not going to argue. As you may have guessed, oh no! I could have handled that better. Forward! Whoa! On the other hand, actually it does make some sense that they form gigantic half pipes, because usually these roots tend to rot from the inside out. And if they were round-shaped, and if something had eroded them from the top, then it would make perfect sense for them to make sort of a curved bowl shape as they slowly began to erode from and rot from the jungle. Whoa, watch out for the giant thing. Isn't it convenient how... Remember back in the original Sonic games when getting crushed was an automatic death? You didn't lose rings, you just died? Well, not so much anymore. Forward. White Jungle is one of the easier stages. It's a bit like Sonic's Green Forest, but actually might be a little easier, in my opinion. Whee! You are not important. Away! Whoa! Why do they put springs and dash pads and stuff like that in the middle of the jungle? Oh. That robot is kicking my ass. Forward. As a matter of fact, this part of the... I get that this is supposed to be an island on which there's a giant military base, but so much of this island is pretty much uninhabited. Why exactly are they spending all these resources protecting this area of the jungle which is thoroughly uninhabited. Air shoes! Air shoes move at light speed along paths of rings, blah blah blah. They're basically Shadow's version of the light speed dash. Come on, there we go. Boingo boingo. And that's pretty much all she wrote for this stage. I believe that we're just about done. Although I could be wrong. Whoa! Hello, goodbye. You are insignificant. You are the weakest bot. Goodbye. Try not to get shot. That's always good advice, especially here. Actually, try not to get shot is basically good advice for life in general. Always try not to get shot, my son. It can ruin your day. So there we are. First mission cleared. Wait a minute. That's just the first mission. No wonder my score's so high. Or not.
That wasn't so hard.
26 emblems. And that's terrific. Ooh, my head hurts. So that's what Shadow was doing in the jungle when Sonic met up with him. And yes, as you might have guessed already, this is the start to a second boss fight. Only we're on Shadow's side now, and it's basically the similar one to what we saw before. Actually, it's identical to the boss fight from Sonic's point of view. All these boss fights against the heroes and the villains are identical no matter which side you're on at the moment. So, fortunately, I'm not gonna screw it up like I did back earlier in gameplay. I just did, that's why I hit you in the back of the head. I'm not sure whether it would be more difficult to play basically according to the same rules or with a different rule, because if you hit Sonic real quick, then you'd get absolutely demolished. On the other hand, the life bar is a little more annoying if you realize that Sonic could pick up rings otherwise. Never mind. I love how from Shadow's point of view he's not breathing as hard as back in the hero story.
Hurry and get back here right now before the island blows up with you on it.
Oh yeah, about that. Oh shit, he didn't know about that. Gotta go. So that's what Shadow was doing while Sonic was in White Jungle. He basically beats hell to get to the military base, and he grabs Rouge and the Chaos Emeralds. So, you got the Chaos Control, and Shadow just uses that to get out, which is why we didn't really need to worry so much about the time limit.